Hello, I just thought I would do a video to kind of chat about things and to have a little time with my spirit friends to ask them to inspire me to give their thoughts on whatever subject they feel that they wish to talk about this evening. I don't know where it's going to go. I guess that's part of the joy and the bit that scares you. Sometimes we don't know what the spirit world wishes to speak about. And I guess part of that challenge that we face is being receptive and seeing where the journey takes us. Now, for those of you that are currently working with me or have worked with me, you'll understand that one of the things that can be really difficult, and I think it's something that we would all recognize, is the question that arises all the time that I hear an awful lot, and certainly that I have had myself and still do, is it me or is it the spirit world that is inspiring those words? Is it just my mind, or is there another force, an intelligence? Now, in some ways, it can't be proved, because you could say, well, they say, they would say things that are different to us. If you're an incredibly well-read, or you have an understanding of many different subjects, then I guess you could then say that, well, if you have a prior understanding, does that negate the presence of the spirit world? And I guess that would be, in a way, that's an insult to them and also to you. Why should you not educate yourself? I think that the more understanding you have of subjects, the greater the wisdom maybe that can be imparted, because there is so much more for the spirit world to utilize. I guess if we say that, for it to be genuine trance, or it needs to be stuff that you wouldn't know about. Well, if you have wisdom, then is it wrong that wisdom that is shared with whoever's listening, is it wrong that some of it should be from you? I don't think it is. We can use the mindset that it needs to be all from spirit. I don't agree. I just don't agree. There's a line in the awareness between the medium and the spirit control, and I think that fluctuates, so that all the way during the communication, that the odds sway between being in favour of the medium and being in favour of the spirit communicator. So I don't think we can have a fixed rule, that we achieve a certain point of connection. And it's important to consider that connection, the strength, the presence of spirit, will alter during that communication. That's just kind of how it is, because what you're relying on is the receptivity of you, the medium. How receptive are you to the communicator? How much will your mind, your conscious mind, interfere with what's said? And how much of what is said will the origin will be from the spirit world? Now, I don't think we can have a one-size-fits-all. Just my thoughts. But it just doesn't feel right to say that, we have to have a certain set of criteria that mean it's genuine trance. I think there are certainly signs, without a doubt, there are signs that the influence isn't just coming from the medium. And the strongest one for me is feeling that presence. Simple as that. You know, you witness someone even via Zoom. And I do a lot of work via Zoom. And if you watch that process of someone blending and going into that trance state, and you see the overshadowing taking place. But more than that is once the words start to flow and you start to hear words being said by the medium, you know that at the start there is this presence of them, and you recognize their personality. But as that story unfolds, or as the words are shared, you start to get this coming together between the medium and the spirit communicator, and more of the communicator is coming forward and is influencing the style of the speech, just the way that they sound even. And they do start to talk in a way that is different to how you recognize them, you know, when we're having a normal conversation. You know, I've been working with one lady, you know, for a couple of years now. And because her ability to kind of just trust in that presence of her spirit influences, because it has grown and grown and her understanding of the process has grown, the difference is staggering. It's really, really noticeable. You know, you start to really feel the presence of communicators. You see the difference as they influence the physical presence of her, and you see the facial differences. You really feel it. You know, even though there's a great distance geographically, it really does make no difference as far as how are we able to perceive that communication. You know, does it sound different to what, you know, she would say in a regular conversation? And absolutely it does. You know, and there's lots of ways that we can kind of assess that. But the biggest hindrance that I've found with all of the students I've worked with is this a fairly commonly held belief is that if they're aware of what is being said, then they mustn't be in trance. Now, we do need to dispel that because it is a myth. It's just not right. You know, and someone pointed that out to me early in my development. It made a massive difference when they said that, because it is like you're waiting for yourself to kind of fall into an unconscious state. And while that is possible, what we're kind of taking out of the equation by insisting or being in the false belief that we need to be in that state of mind is we're taking out the equation of our spirit team, how they connect to us and how they're able to influence us. And if they do not need to take us into a state of unconsciousness, but they can still impart their wisdom and, you know, their philosophy or whatever the case may be, then surely we must allow that process to unfold in the way that it needs to. Because isn't it right to consider that this is about different parties? There is the spirit world, i.e. our computer, our communicators, our spirit friends. There is us. We are a medium. So we are allowing a communication to flow through us. Not because of us, but through us. And then there's the recipient. So we have I think we have a duty to kind of have that mindset that we need to say to our spirit friends, guys, I need you to make the best connection possible in the way that works for me. You know, with your mindset, how you're able to initiate that communication and that connection, and just allow it to be. You know, I think when we get too caught up in the technical aspects of it and we think that we need to be in a certain place, before we've even allowed our mediumship to mature and to develop and become what it needs to. Now, the one thing that we all need to have is that trust in the process, that we need to say to them what we want to do. We need to tell our spirit team, that we want to allow, philosophy or communication from a loved one to come through and allow it to happen in the way that it's going to, because trying to put yourself in a box and neatly package yourself in a style may seem like the right thing to do, but I've found, just through my experience, that you kind of are what you are. You need to allow it to happen as it needs to happen. Involve your team at all stages of the process. Tell them what you want to do, when you make your time to sit. Give them the opportunity. Don't try and restrict them, with lots of demands. I want this, 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 and this. You've got all these demands lined up. They've got a lot of boxes to try and tick and try to achieve, because they will try to work with your demands, because you're expressing your free will, aren't you? You're telling them what you want. And I think they will do that even if it is not the best way of you working, because they can try to inspire you to consider other ways. But ultimately, it is your decision. You make that call to say, I will allow, or I want to allow, my team to develop me in the way that I need to be developed, or I'm going to set lots of different rules, lots of demands, and I think they will try to achieve that. So it could be that you'll still get to where you want to be, but you will elongate the process, and it will take longer. Just my thoughts, just my feelings. So, is it right? It's right for me. Is it right for everyone? Maybe not, but maybe so. But please do consider it, because one of the major stumbling blocks is, I hear repeated, it is like deja vu. I can't let go because I'm aware that it's me speaking. Now, probably the best thing I could say in that situation is go into it, knowing that it is you that starts that speaking, starts the conversation. You could be talking about anything you want, the weather, your shopping list, what you had for tea. Doesn't really matter. But once you get that process going, it's like a mechanical process. You need to start the car if you want to go on a journey. So don't just sit in the car and wait for spirit to turn the key for you. You need to be turning the key. And once you're doing that, once the motor's running, then you can kind of allow them to start to take a greater part in what's going on and enjoy the journey. There isn't a final stage to this. It's ongoing. You keep developing, don't you? We're not going to just get to a sudden point where a little sign is going to illuminate our mind that says, destination reached, task completed. It's ongoing till the day that we join our spirit friends in the spirit world. So, that's my 10 pence worth, for what it's worth. Now, what I'm going to do is ask for my spirit friends to join me. So I'm going to go into that quiet space. I'll allow them to say what they want to say, and we will see where this goes, okay? So, I'm just going to play. I'd like to listen to a particular track that I enjoy, so let me just see if I can find it. And hopefully, by the time that's finished, I'll feel in that place where the spirit world will be ready and waiting to have their say. So, let me see, where is it? There it is. Okay. Yeah. Welcome. Welcome, my friends. And thank you for taking time to listen to us. The question of what is our purpose is often asked from the point of view of you and also the spiritual. Why are we here? Life can be a difficult proposition. There are many challenges that we face, and there are many great moments of happiness as we live the process that you would say is life. But I would say that we are also living life. There is life beyond the veil, this imaginary line where we exist and you exist. But what if we said that life was both sides of the veil at the same time? What if I said that we are living it together? I am experiencing your life by virtue of connecting with you. Observation, by looking at the reaction between you and the circumstances. From your inception into your passing, all of it is an exchange of energy. Energy that manifests in the form of an emotion, of disease, reactions between circumstances that your mind will create, that life will bring to you. When people ask the question, why does God allow a child to fall ill? It brings us great sadness that you would consider that there is an arbitrary force who would make a judgment against you, who would have you believe that there is something about you that is not deserving. That there is a reason why the child or your loved one should suffer, and that it is not merely the coming together of energetic reactions on a cellular and molecular level. It is not a religious experience that you would suffer, and there is not a God that would bring this upon you. What if I said that you were God? That you are a creative force that can bring upon you disharmony and disease, that can bring upon you unhappiness. Because, my friends, it is the truth. It is a human reaction when we do not consider fully the role that we play in being the God, the cause of our suffering. Every time a decision is made by you, every time you consider the action of another, you are entering into an exchange of energy in the form of emotion, in the form of a physical reaction to it. You know that if someone said something very harsh to you, you have a physical reaction within you, and anger builds. Hormones are released within the body that have a reaction upon it. You have to imagine that within you are many, many thousands, millions of switches. And our thoughts, our reactions are turning switches on and also off. That in a way we are causing a chemical reaction within our body by the way that we think. Think about that statement. We are causing a chemical reaction within the body by the way that we think. So what do you think about yourself? When you wake up in the morning, my friends, what thoughts do you have about yourself? Are they good thoughts? What thoughts do you have about other people? Do you consider the reaction, the effect that your thoughts of someone else has upon you? We must think about how we think. And it seems like a strange question or request. But often we look to the outside world for our answers. Why does life treat me in a certain way? Why have circumstances come upon me? Life is about action and reaction. The world is about action and reaction. You know, the action of polluting the atmosphere has a reaction. And it means the world you live in is deteriorating. If you pollute your water supply, why would it be a surprise if it tastes unpleasant to drink? It should not be a surprise to anyone. And yet somehow we look at the TV screen and we raise our eyebrows and we act surprised that the world is not the place that we dream it to be. If you poison the food that you eat, and the air that you breathe, and the water that you drink, is it not a surprise that you fall ill? That your vitality is not what it could be? Think of yourself in a more simple way. When you consider what does it take to survive, we are animals in the human form. You are animals, but you are intelligent. You learn to survive in the environment that surrounds you. That is what being more conscious brings to you. You become aware of where you are. You become aware of your circumstances, and there is a need within you to survive. For your species, your genetics, to propagate, to survive, to move forward. So there is that desire to procreate. With each generation, your conscious awareness of who and what you are, of where you live and how you survive, that is contained within the genes within you. The intelligence is also within the cells. But you can continue to program your cells. You can choose whether you program them positively or negatively. So then you must bear in mind where the influence comes from. It comes from your environment, what you see, what you hear, and how you feel. Let us suppose that there were twins born. And let us suppose that we separated them. To one family we gave them, and they received the most loving, most hospitable, uplifting, nourishing environment, that they were told that they were loved every second of the day. that they were given every opportunity to progress and to make something of themselves. And let us say the other twin was given nothing. It was not told that it was loved. It was given enough to survive and nothing more. Do you think that the end result would have been the same? Would they have become the same person? Genetically, they would have been similar. They may have had a disposition that would be recognizable within each other. But the programming of the experiences that they had would have made a great difference, my friends. The reason I say this is that there is not a need for you to be resigned to the life that you have. If you wish for something better, then create it. Your mind is a tool, an instrument for change. You can instigate change within your life. Do not be resigned to be on a raft flowing down a river with no paddle. That is not who you are. You were given opportunity to make adjustments to your life. Do not think that you have a destiny that cannot be changed. It is not the truth. No. When we see people bemoan the life that they have, we will challenge them and say, what will you do about it to change? If you are willing to fight for what you want, then do it. But do it because you want it. Do it because you have a desire to change. Do not fight because you can. But do not give up before you have even tried. We see that there are many people who say they want something, but they want it to be delivered in a little box so that they can open it like a present. They do not want to craft and create it by placing themselves in a position where they can have this. They want it to be given to them, and to not toil under the sweat of effort and self-development. What you wish to have is yours if you wish to work for it. And so you can achieve anything you want. You just have to ask yourself, how much do you want it? What are you willing to do to achieve your goals, my friends? Now, as you move forward, look to be a positive change. When you look at the world around you, it is your mind that decides whether what you see is a good world or a bad one. You color the picture that you see, so color it brightly. Have a positive mindset, my friends. And as you go on this journey that you call life, you decide how you see it. You decide whether the world is a good place or a bad place. But be willing to change. Be willing to be positive about what you can do about your own life. Do not end it before it has begun. And do not think every day is not an opportunity to bring forward new propositions, new opportunities, a new you. Now, let us return the boy, and we will speak again. Thank you, my friends. Okay. So, the blending, allow it to happen. What's going to be said? Whatever they want to say. You're part of it. Allow it to happen. It's a beautiful, beautiful aspect of mediumship to develop. Not everyone out there is going to be a philosopher, but you all have something worthwhile saying. So even if there is just that tiniest bit of the spirit world involved in what you say, still allow it to be said. When we don't feel that we have a voice, what do we have? Allow yourself to have a voice. Allow the spirit world to have a voice. Embrace the opportunity. It is a beautiful way of working. And in the classes, that I run, I've had such beautiful philosophy, thought-provoking, really deep words of wisdom that touch the heart. That's kind of what we're looking for. And when you speak to the student afterwards, they have very little recollection of what is said, and you watch the recording back and you think, wow, that just, it really does, touches your soul. And it's an absolute delight, really is, to see the progression. It's just like a flower unfolding, and you just kind of see the real beauty that's hidden within. But we need to allow that process to unfold, as it will, in the time that it takes. Now, if you want to explore trance mediumship, there are a few options if you want to learn that journey with me. I run workshops that are 6 3-hour-long sessions. So there's 18 hours in total, and we have one session every 2 weeks on a Sunday morning or a Sunday evening. So there's a choice of classes depending on whereabouts you live in the world. So we have 3 hours where we get together on Zoom, and you'll join other people that are on that same journey, all at different stages. So it doesn't matter if you're new to this, it really doesn't, and it doesn't matter if you're much more experienced. What we're doing is we're sharing a journey together. Celebrate those that are further along and support those that aren't. It's as simple as that. We get together, we support each other. So the courses come on periodically, several times a year. I also run a monthly circle, just 3 hours on a Saturday, where we get together, we practice our trance, and we meet just monthly. Then there's fortnightly sessions, usually on a Friday, or it is on a Friday, from 7 till 9, get together, again a group of us, and we explore trance. Now it's not just about being a philosopher. It's about exploring and enhancing that ability to make a good strong connection with our spirit friends and also with loved ones. So we do practice stuff like your spirit links. We practice maybe a little bit of trance healing. We practice allowing your loved ones to speak through the medium. And we practice that inspired speaking and speaking when we're in trance by our spirit friends. So there's lots of different things we do, but it's relaxed, it's easy going. You know, we do have a laugh, but we get stuff done and we support each other. You know, so those sessions are very popular. If you're not sure where you're at on your path, if you need some guidance, then I do spiritual assessments. So I ask your spirit team, and I use my psychic and mediumistic awareness to ask the question, where is this person at? You know, where did their journey start? Where is it now? Where may it go in the future? So we're looking to get guidance. So that's another way that we work. Or you may just want to read him. You may want to hear from a loved one, and in that case we look to bring evidence of their survival, but also importantly of their awareness of what's happening in your life. You know, what can they say that shows that death wasn't the final act that they took part in, that they really are alive in a different form, and they can provide that evidence that shows you that is the case. So you can contact me on Facebook, Andrew Codling, medium and tutor. If you wish to contact me on my website, it's andrewcodling.com. So send me a message if you've got any questions about this, if you want to explore trance. And you can also have one-to-one tuition, so it's just me and you working, you know, kind of for an hour at a time. That's also a possibility. If you want to explore it, send me a message, ask me some questions, and we can have a chat. If you want to do something face-to-face, if you want some tuition, workshop, whatever, send me a message and let's see what we can do. But for now, I will say thank you, and hopefully I'll do another video in the not too distant future and we will have another chat. But for the time being, take care guys, and I look forward to hearing from you. Bye now.